Welcome to the Laurent Collective podcast, where we go deeper than just surface talk.
Each week, we'll explore everything from family, business, creativity, culture, and faith.
To make sure not to miss an episode, be sure to subscribe and hop on to Instagram at Laurent Collective to chat with us about this episode. Hello.
Hello. This will probably be a fairly short podcast because it is July.
We always say that.
We say that, and then we do talk a little bit longer, don't we?
Yeah.
That's all right. Sorry. But it is July now, and this is going to be weird depending where you are in the world, but for us in the UK, our kids are still in school, and they will go through mid-July, and then we have 6 weeks. 6 weeks, yeah.
Yeah,
6 weeks off for summer break before they start up again in September. And so wherever you are if it's summer or not, and I know in different parts of the world this is winter, and you are in school and stuff. And
well, not in Europe, but...
Not in Europe, no, I know. But this is the winter season in other parts. But all that to say, we are entering a season of rest, or that we're trying to make more restful. Key words, trying. And so that means that we are doing a couple things in our life and with our work that we are trying to ramp down to the slowdown of the kids being done with school. We will still be working and things like that, but it just basically means we're trying to slow down a little bit. And we want to do this as an example to you guys, because so many of you asked, like, how do you handle working and the kids in the summer and things like that? And yes, we have flexibility because, we have our own business and all that kind of stuff, and we work in other areas too. But it does mean we have a little bit more flexibility, so I get that. Definitely. But no matter what your situation is, I think there is something to be intentional about stopping some things to create more space. Yeah,
I think it's trying to create rhythms, almost like a yearly rhythm. Like we do this in other areas of things that we're doing, where we have yearly rhythms of, like, this is the go period, this is the go season for this couple months, this is the rest season for these months, and like so on and so forth kind of thing. And so again, we're just the next couple months now that we're here in July, is we're entering into our rest months in a sense for some things.
For some things. Exactly. Like we said, it's not about perfection in this.
No.
It's about creating space, so we're not trying to do all the things continuing. You can't, if no matter what you are doing, you cannot continue at a high pace of, like, output, basically, 24/7 all year round. You just cannot do it. And so, like you said, Pat, like the idea of creating seasons and what that looks like, and that will look different to you depending on your life circumstances. If you don't have kids, if you're single, if you're married, if you're in a relationship, depending what your job is, depending where you live, like all that stuff is going to affect this. But I think what we're intentional about and trying to be, and we learn every single year, you guys, this is not...
we don't have it figured out.
No, we don't have it figured out. We're getting better. Yeah. And each year I feel like we're like, oh yes, that's, and so for us, that means this time and is key for us. I'm also, we're saying this beginning of July too, because I know for you guys in the States, typically your kids are done in May. And I have seen, leading up to this, watching you all be like, why does the end of school always turn crazy? Like, why are there all these events? Why does everyone suddenly want to get together then? Stuff like that. The exact same thing happens here. Yep. That I don't know why the end of June and then July leading up until when the kids are out of school turns into craziness. And so that is also why we're like intentional now. We used to say once the kids are done with school, and now it's like, no. Because I already know the last 2 weeks of school, 2 to 3 weeks of school, it's like mental. All the events, all the things, all the performances, all the wrapping up of everything. It just feels, I don't know why that always, it happens restful. Everywhere in the world, it sounds like, but it's not, it's
not restful. Mm-hmm. It's not.
You'd think a wind down of school means that it's less, and it actually means more, especially if you're going anywhere in the summer and stuff like that too. Then you're also prepping for that at the same time everything else is going on. So that's another reason that we enter into season of, well, that part is maybe not restful. It means that we cannot continue to do everything that we're doing during that season, during the little part. So that means for us, what it means for you listening here is that we're going to do things a little bit differently starting next week. And so every other week we are going to take a break and not have a podcast go up for you guys. And then every other week on opposite weeks of that, we are going to revisit podcasts that are our most popular ones. So Pat has seen the most listened to podcasts.
Yes, definitely.
And we're not redoing them. We're just going to put them up again for new listeners to hear them and maybe see them. Because I don't know about you guys, but when I find a new podcast, I don't always
go back.
I frankly, especially when you have as many podcasts as we've done at this point, there's no way I'm going back and listening to all of them.
Yeah.
If I've picked up a podcast and it's like 5 episodes, okay.
Right. I think that's the biggest thing is I think, for some of you guys that are relatively new, we want to kind of bring back some of the oldies that, that you guys have been really like psyched about listening to and like all that kind of stuff.
Did you just say psyched?
Did I say psyched? Maybe. But anyways, I think it's really important for us, even to tell certain parts of our story that maybe if you guys have just started listening, haven't heard yet. And so I think, it'd be really fun for you guys to hear those kind of things and stuff like that. So we're going to bring back some oldies over the next couple months. And so we can kind of rest and also kind of be refueled. So we have some new topics and hopefully we can hear more from you guys during this restful season as well. So we're like ready to go. And we'll have, lots of fun new topics and things like that we want to share with you guys coming back. Yeah, exactly. And so, again, these will be our most popular podcasts that we have produced and everything. And we will be back. Our hope is to be back beginning of September, maybe like second or third week of September. So bear with us as we have school starting then as well. And so we're going to play it by ear and see. What is play by ear? I need to look up why you say that phrase. Play it by whatever, and see how it's going and decide when to start up again. But we hope this is an example to you guys, whether you're entering the same season as us or you're entering your busy season, that you kind of think ahead a little bit of like, we didn't need to make this decision mid-July. We need to make it now because we're going to, enter into a busy season the next couple of weeks and then, that kind of stuff. And then giving ourselves to, you don't want to come back from a time of rest and go 100% in either. You need to be able to kind of ease into it. Ease into it. Yes, exactly. So that is another reason for us not maybe going right back at it, like right as September starts and things like that. So we hope you guys find the next few weeks enjoyable. If you're entering a season that is like this, we hope you are resting. And I know some of you are ramping up for new things and that kind of thing. We just wanted to say like, this is what it looks like for us personally to enter into a season of rest. And during the season of rest too, and as we're putting up these new podcasts, something that is so helpful to us is for you to send us things that you want us to talk about, because that is almost always where we get the topics from and that kind of thing. Even I think recently someone was talking to and asked like, well, how do you guys rest during the summer when you have a podcast, you have a business, you are, serving at a church and things like that. And so this is how we do it. Yeah, exactly. Not perfectly, but how we attempt it. Yeah, not perfectly. Yeah. Yeah. So all this to say, we will be excited to be with you guys next time that we are live. But we are excited for you guys to listen to some of the ones that are favorites of the past. It was kind of fun to see what ones you guys have listened to the most. It is funny to look. It is very funny to see that. So, and we look forward to seeing you in September. Yeah, definitely. Just thank you guys so much for listening. It's awesome. We'll be back refreshed in the autumn. Yes, for sure. Take care. Bye. Thanks for joining us on today's episode of the Laurent Collective podcast. If you enjoyed today's podcast, be sure to subscribe and leave a review, which helps others find our podcast. Continue the conversation with us over on Instagram at Laurent Collective. We look forward to going deeper than just surface talk with you again